the cyber skeletons, hella big, making you irrelevant. I relish it inside of a second, I'm killing everything. I want the crowd, give it to me tenfold. It is out, oh my flashlight again.
What's going on, DSG? It's your boy Darrnell Bradley. Back at y'all another video. Today we got how far would Saitama get in the Dragon Ball Z movies realistically? This one also coming to us by way of Unremarkable. We had peeped the last one. That was how far Saitama would make it in Dragon Ball, period. Like Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon whatever. And essentially the video had him not getting past Buu Saga. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm not a scaler. Like, actually, that was the first scaling thing that we've reacted to on this channel. Not the first scaling thing I've ever seen, but as far as trying to look at it critically in a reaction setting, which was actually very interesting. I thought it was really cool. And this video is even shorter, so let's check it out. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that there social media. We ain't here without any further ado. 3, 2, 1, click.
Recently, I made a video about how far Saitama would get in the world of Dragon Ball, and
Yes,
today I want to do something similar with him.
Well, my thing, because I don't know the scaling of like movies to show stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because like I'm over here in my mind, I'm thinking like anybody in the movies, obviously. Well, okay, this is Dragon Ball Z. This is Dragon Ball Z movies. So no Dragon Ball Super movies or nothing like that, I assume. But all right, let's go. Because it said it's not scaling higher than Buu. So yes, he said it's not scaling higher than Buu, so it wouldn't, I guess, make sense to go.
Rules before we start this though.
That.
1, I will be considering the movies as their own separate continuity from the anime, with the exception of if a character from one of the movies is directly compared to a character that is only in the anime, then obviously I need to use the anime to scale that character. And number 2, this will only be dealing with the original 13 Dragon Ball Z movies from Dead Zone to Wrath of the Dragon. Nothing from before, nothing after. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'll keep
that was slightly startling, I'm not gonna lie. But
this section brief because I already discussed Saitama and how strong he is extensively in my original video, so go check that out if you want a full breakdown of his abilities. But in short, Saitama is really strong. He's so strong that some people even think he is an unbeatable gag character of some sorts, and while I personally don't think that's the case, or at least I think they're oversimplifying it a little.
I could tell, because I'm not gonna lie, like before I knew about One Piece for real, like before, I don't even know about it for real. Before I actually watched it, whenever I had heard about the character or anything like that, it was always in tidbits of some kind of gag character being referenced to the what's your name, the glasses hat girl, little girl, Dragon Ball. You know what I'm saying? But let's go.
Little bit. I can't really blame them when the series is literally called One Punch Man. I would argue that the gag is that he's too strong for the story he's in, but you know, that's a different conversation. Moving on to his actual feats though. In the manga, Saitama fights Cosmic Fear Garo, a martial artist with the power of God and anime on his side, and the opening clash between the two managed to blot out a massive amount of stars from the sky, with calculations putting this anywhere from multi-solar system level to even multi-galaxy level. One thing I would like to correct from
I would say I would give it a multi-solar system. Well, I guess no, multi-galaxy. It could be galaxy depending on the star. So yeah, galaxy. Because yeah, I could see it. It depends on like how spaced out their stars are, for what reason, all this other crap. Let's go.
My original video, I called these things hyperspace gates because that's the translation I'm reading, but the more accurate translation from what I'm seeing in the comments is subspace gates, which really wouldn't scale Saitama anywhere, as a subspace is only 3-dimensional, not 4-dimensional. But Saitama doesn't need that to get to 4th dimensional anymore because he has a new feat in the manga that I only briefly covered in my original video. For context, the current big bad in the One Punch Man manga is called Empty Void. The way Empty Void works is that he's able to interact with the infinite 3D multiverse in what he describes as a hyperspace in the One Punch Man manga. This is backed up by Blast, who says that the Dimension Slash Empty Void signature move.
Yeah, see this Blast character. I know nothing. The only thing I know of this Blast character comes from Etolic Animations and their whole Saitama and Goku thing.
Is one of God's powers and repeatedly states that God is some sort of higher dimensional entity. The One Punch Man manga even visually shows us a tesseract, which is the most common depiction of a 4th dimensional area. And Saitama is able to casually catch this attack with 2 fingers, easily putting him at 4th dimensional in terms of power, or Universal Plus at bare minimum. He could potentially be higher, but currently he doesn't have the feats to support anything above Universal Plus. But some people like to downplay this feat and say it's only planetary.
And I would like to appreciate y'all, to be honest, the way y'all hit my comments in the last one trying to let me know things. still haven't quite got a grip on everything when they talking about like universal. I get you, like in this universal, because the plus part for me, like plus could mean a lot. Like, what do you mean universal plus? Like 2 times universal, or where are we going with this? Like, where does the plus stop? Let's go.
Which I vehemently disagree with, but I'll be sure to address where Saitama would scale if you ignore this feat. There are 2 more corrections I would like to make from my original video on Saitama, and that would be his growth rate and his time travel ability. The manga very clearly highlights that Saitama is only growing so fast due to an intense surge of emotions, likely from Genos dying. Now, you could argue that fighting an opponent stronger than himself would provoke a similar reaction, or at least a similar surge of emotion. But really, based on his competition for this video, that really won't be a factor. And when you actually do the math behind the graphs that the manga gives us, it really isn't anything.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I could see it in that sense over that depth, but like I think it would like if his life was actually in danger and he was about to die, I think he could possibly pull it off. You know what I'm saying? Because minus that don't really give him nothing else to fight with. No, I'm not saying that we have nothing else to fight with. Obviously, he got a shit ton. But I mean, like as far as breaking the upper echelons of his power, that means he's never gonna be able to do that unless somebody close to him dies, which was almost like the situation. Well, not even really this. Well, no. Okay, flush of emotions. I would honestly say, I'll say that he could learn how to channel that the same way the Saiyans used to go into Super Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? Through their anger and emotions and whatnot, and then they trained on how to utilize those emotions in an instant to gain more power. And so I would feel like Saitama would. There's no reason he wouldn't, if his power grows exponentially due to those emotions and being in that state of mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like there's no way. I feel like there has to be a way for him to induce that onto himself when he needs to, if he trained at it. You know what I mean? To reach like that kind of power. But let's go.
Won't be a factor. And when you actually do the math behind the graphs that the manga gives us, it really isn't anything more than a few times increase for him. Next is his time travel ability, which I improperly credited to his speed, saying that Saitama had potentially immeasurable speed based on this feat, which is not the case. This is actually closer to a time travel technique, as Saitama needs to manipulate subatomic particles in order to pull this off.
Okay, so he said, okay. That was good. We need clarification on that because that was something that we was talking about in the last one. It was a big one, about comparing him to hit an ability versus physical move, I guess. And I had more put it in the realm of physical move, but with the explanation that we're getting here, it seems like we're moving in a different direction.
Travel technique, as Saitama needs to manipulate subatomic particles in order to pull this off.
So, but the thing is, like, he needs to manipulate subatomic particles to pull this off. I'm trying to remember exactly what man said on that last video. Like, was it his physical movement that was doing this to these subatomic particles? Like, from the way he was moving? Or, because the way I think about it as ability is he thought it, like, in his mind and it happened. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking of when it's, like, an ability. It's something you can do because it's a power you have. You know, that's what I be thinking. But okay, let's go.
Not to mention, but he actually forgets the fight with Cosmic Fear Garo, meaning he forgets the time travel technique as well. So not only is it not immeasurable speed, but it's not even something he can do anymore. So it's not even a factor for the video.
That's fact, and that's one thing that I did like about it. The interesting part about it, not being able to remember because like he went so fast, it went back in time, and he beat him with one punch, and this whole the rest of that fight didn't happen. So it's, you know what I'm saying, in his mind, he just really socked that nigga one time like he normally always does.
In conclusion, Saitama would be Universal Plus with massively faster than light speed scaling, bare minimum. Again, he's definitely capable of more. We'll definitely get more feats in the future, but as of right now, this is where he scales.
It won't make me jump, but on the inside, my heart does little, you know what I'm saying?
First major obstacle in Saitama's way is the very first villain of the Dragon Ball Z movies, Garlic Jr. And no, I'm not joking. Really quick, just to get this out of the way, the Daizenshuu calls the Dead Zone a hyperspace, and some translations even use the term superspace. This would make Garlic Jr. 4th dimensional or even potentially 5th dimensional, or in other words, Universal Plus bare minimum. However, this is extremely inconsistent with the power scaling that comes before.
So if you're, okay, so just trying to get a grasp on the scaling thing. from what he said right here.
Universal plus bare minimum. However, or even potentially fifth dimensional. Or in other words, universal plus.
Yeah, when you're talking about fifth dimensional, fourth dimensional, and now you're talking about universal plus, like, so is that by definition, if you can do like rip through the fourth dimension, you know what I'm saying, and get through there, you can automatically like have enough power to destroy universes, is what you're saying? Is that, if not, let me know in the comments, I guess, because just the way that it was stated there leads me to believe that. But all right.
Junior, fourth dimensional, or even potentially fifth dimensional. Yeah. Or in other words, universal plus bare minimum. However, this is extremely inconsistent with the power scaling that comes before and after this movie. In truth, I don't know what the dead zone is. It's not a black hole. It's not a portal to an alternate dimension. It's not a hyperspace. It's just kind of a thing. So we're going to ignore it for this video because it's not even really relevant to the situation. Now back to the serious power scaling. Saitama clearly outstats Garlic Jr. Garlic Jr. would be above characters like Goku during the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai, whose Kamehameha.
Well, after everything that you gave about Saitama, saying okay, so this is just the first person he come up against, period. Okay, because the order of movies you're going in, I assume, because I'm like, I don't see Garlic Jr. Don't be wrong, that was like one of my favorite movies, to be honest. The Garlic Jr. Oh my god, yo, that shit was ill. Wait, Garlic Jr. That's when everybody was like the rabid vampire people. Like, okay, let's go.
I could destroy a planet. However, destroying a planet isn't even impressive to Saitama's very, very low ends. He's also much slower. While Saitama is billions of times the speed of light, Garlic Jr. is only a few times the speed of light, as he's able to speed blitz Goku and Piccolo, but once they take off their weighted clothing, the two fare much better against him. There's also the Dead Zone, which is completely useless against Saitama. In the Dragon Ball Z anime before the Garlic Jr. arc, it's established that Garlic Jr. was able to break out of the Dead Zone because he got strong enough. So Saitama, someone who's clearly more powerful than literally everyone in that arc, would have absolutely no problem breaking out of the Dead Zone. The Dead Zone isn't even strong enough to trap Saitama in it regardless, because Garlic Jr. establishes that not even light can escape it, but Saitama is already billions of times faster than light, meaning he is much, much faster than the pole of the Dead Zone. However, Garlic Jr. still needs to be covered because of one thing that makes him a really tricky opponent, and that's his immortality.
I told you, I will never die!
Immortality in Dragon Ball is absolutely cracked. You can never ever die. In Dragon Ball Super, another...
I mean, like, immortality in Dragon Ball is cracked. How do you really crack immortality? It's its own drug. It's immortality. Like, what do you mean crack? It's kind of in the title. Let's go.
Immortality in Dragon Ball is absolutely cracked. You can never ever die. In Dragon Ball Super, another character named Zamasu wishes for immortality, and it's stated by Beerus himself that not even the Hakai can kill someone who's immortal. The Hakai is extremely potent. It's even able to erase spirits out of existence, spirits that come from gag mangas, by the way. And Dragon Ball immortality is above that. So even though Saitama severely outstats Garlic Jr., Garlic Jr.'s body would just come back from any damage taken by it. You think this would make the fight a standstill since Garlic Jr. can't do anything to Saitama?
I mean, but like, what are the stipulations on eviscerating them entirely? You know what I'm saying? But
and Saitama can't do anything to Garlic Jr. However, you would be wrong because Garlic Jr. is really, really dumb. Garlic Jr. is immortal, so if he had just waited Goku and Piccolo out during their fight, he would have won. Goku and Piccolo would have run out of ki eventually and would have been too weak to fight back, and Garlic Jr. could have just killed them there. But instead, as soon as he gets overpowered, he decides to rage quit and open up the one thing that can actually stop him. You think he would have learned his lesson, right? But he decides to open it again during the Garlic Jr. filler arc of Z. Saitama ain't the brightest bulb in the box, but goddamn, he's smarter than Garlic Jr. So yeah, if nothing else, Saitama would probably just accidentally knock Garlic Jr. into the Dead Zone, and then that would be the end of the fight. Now, I personally don't really think that this is a stopping off.
Well, I personally think even if Garlic Jr. is even with Garlic Jr. being immortal, I don't think personally, I honestly don't think Garlic Jr. would be enough of a challenge to Saitama, period, for Saitama to even like get tired while fighting him. So I mean, like, you could put it in the standstill stalemate area, but I wouldn't. It would just be the longest ass whooping Garlic Jr. has ever gotten in his life. I think that's where that would fall in. But all right, let's go.
Off point for Saitama, like, at all. But if you really believe that the Dead Zone is a hyperspace or even a super space, then you know what? I guess Saitama caps here. Absolutely no disrespect, but do you really think Raditz
Nigga said you got it. All right, go ahead.
Is universal? Do you think Raditz is a multiverse slaying god or something? Was that really Toriyama's intention when he came up with the character of Raditz?
We interrupt this program to bring you.
Have you ever wanted to give me money?
Oh God, this thing again.
Oh, it's Patreon or anything. So if you want to support me,
Props to it.
I mispronounced it at
Support
all.
me
It's
is-
$1 bare minimum. Not like fuck you. You don't. If you want to, great.
Oh, for long.
Curb to actual meat and potatoes of this video. I think there are 3 stopping off points for Saitama depending on how you scale him. On the low end, Saitama is biting the curb to Metacooler. Even at the beginning of the movie, Metacooler would be stronger than
This is biting the curb. Okay, well, I need the stats. Because like I don't know the movie scaling. I guess like I said compared to the show because I'm looking at these characters and yeah, my mind is on the show and I'm thinking about him topping out in Boo Saga and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where people had to like fuse and go Super Saiyan 3 and all this extra shit. So I don't even know where Cooler would stack. But I guess that's what we're watching the video for, right?
of this video. I think there are 3 stopping off points for Saitama depending on how you scale him. On the low end, Saitama is biting the curb to Metacooler. Even at the beginning of the movie, Metacooler would be stronger than he was in the last film, and 5th form Cooler was able to tank a Kaioken times 20 Kamehameha from Goku. Cooler actually remarks that he could see how Goku could beat his brother before Goku uses the Kaioken or transforms, meaning that base Goku in this movie could potentially be stronger than even 100% buff Frieza. And Metacooler would be stronger than that. For reference, the destruction of planet Vegeta is calced at solar system level because of how violently it was destroyed, and 5th form Cooler would be like 100.
I mean, that's factual statements though, like.
And Metacooler would be stronger than that. For reference, the destruction of planet Vegeta is calced at.
But yeah, like there was absolutely no need for all of this. Like the planet would have blown up with less energy, and I think Frieza knew that, you know what I'm saying? But he a little vain bitch, and this was a lot for real. But okay,
At solar system level because of how violently it was destroyed.
but okay, solar system level, how violently, as in it can get stronger, I would assume. But this whatever this moon is was okay.
And 5th form Cooler would be like 100 times stronger than that. That's a rough estimate, but I'm not joking. And then Metacooler would be stronger than that. Metacooler is easily multi-solar system level at bare minimum. Even if you want to ignore that, though, his hacks abilities are absolutely cracked. Endless regeneration, endless stamina. He basically gets Zenkai boosts. He grows throughout the fight.
And that's also, that's not Cooler though. Like that's an avatar he created. Like we seen what happened to the one who really tried to hop outside. He don't do that. He on pain treatment. That's where he pain. He the OG pain. You have the avatars go out and fight because you know if you try to move, you fuck. That's it. But all right, let's go.
Going from base Goku level to needing 2 Super Saiyans going all out to take him out. And he has instant transmission, not to mention his body corrects any flaws that it perceives it has.
Oh yeah, he has the Doomsday hack as well. Or does Doomsday have his hack? I don't. Okay, but we move.
And if the flaw is that he only has one body, because the Big Getty Star, the thing that powers Metacooler, can just kind of create an infinite amount of him. It gets even crazier when you consider Daizenshu. The guidebooks say that Metacooler has infinite mechanical power. Infinite power would grant Metacooler high universal attack potency. However, Metacooler's high ends don't really match up to Saitama's high ends, because Saitama is Universal Plus, which is a tier above a high universal. Honestly, it'd probably go the same way that the Mole Men fight in episode 1 went. Saitama would probably get a kick out of this, I can't lie. If you think he gets past Metacooler, though, the next candidate up would probably be...
I don't think he gets past Metacooler. No, so I do think he gets past Metacooler, personally. Like, the whole thing where they was fighting and they had to transfer the energy out to freaking blow up, like, what was that? We're saying that galaxy level on the high end is what he said, galaxy or something like that. I would give it up there at least on that one alone. You know what I'm saying? From the amount of space that was blacked out, that if we saw something like that in our sky, bro, that's a few galaxies, bro. You know what I'm saying? Constellation, whatever, stars all grouped together. That's a few galaxies, bro. But we move. Let's go.
the kick out of this, I can't lie. If you think he gets past Metacooler, though, the next candidate up would probably be Broly, because...
Well, I guess it depends on whatever blinking light you looking in the sky and the star at, like whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you could say Galaxy. I'm gonna say Galaxy. Let's go.
BoJack and Android 13 are weak, let's be honest. The next candidate up would probably be Broly, because BoJack and Android 13 are weak, let's be honest. If you think Saitama is Galaxy level, then Broly one-shots a Galaxy in the opening of his movie, so Broly's probably gonna win. That was...
Well, then there goes my whole argument out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a scaler, but anyway, but no, but yeah, with the Galaxy feet, what was it? The exponentially getting stronger thing back in time, whatever. See, I need to see, not just see One Piece. I need to like know One Piece for real. But go ahead, talk to me, man. Talk to me. What are you?
Then Broly one-shots a Galaxy in the opening of his movie, so Broly's probably gonna win. That was
Broly one-shots a Galaxy though. That was only one Galaxy though. I'm talking like multiples. But we move. Let's go.
Broly in his restricted Super Saiyan form, by the way, who is on par with base Goku roughly, and then legendary Super Saiyan Broly is able to just tank a Super Kamehameha from Super Saiyan Goku. Broly was able to destroy massive chunks of the South Galaxy, which is essentially the South Quadrant of the universe, in his restricted Super Saiyan form, not even his all-out legendary Super Saiyan form. He even got statements from the writer saying that he can destroy entire galaxies and even the universe if he wanted to.
Okay.
Something that's backed up by Takao.
But then also, like, I know that the Dragon Ball... Ooh, my chair. I know that the Dragon Ball stuff, galaxy-wise and stuff, like, it's in a ball and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just the way that it's set up is different.
Saying that he can destroy entire galaxies and even the universe if he wanted to. Something that's backed up by Takao Koyama, the guy that created Broly. But he is a massive Broly fanboy, so, you know, take his word with a grain of salt, I suppose. There's even multiple statements in the movie that Broly is a threat to the universe, which would grant him high universal attack potency. I'm starting to see a pattern here. However, Broly's high ends, again, don't compare to Saitama's high ends, and even though Broly grows in strength, Saitama does too, and you could argue that that would cancel each other out. I personally scale Saitama to Universal Plus, so I think he would clear Broly, but if you're a down player, then, you know, I guess this is where he would cap off.
Alright, okay. I see what you're saying. So what? Is it like due to the quantity of which him and the other dude trading blows was blacking out the stars and galaxies in the sky? Keeping that up could have destroyed the universe and would have still had more juice to spare. So like Universal Plus type deal is what we talking. Whereas Broly can one-shot a galaxy, but in order to destroy a universe, it would take him more time than it would take Saitama. At which point, like if Saitama could do it a lot faster with the power that he's got, is what I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he would beat Broly. Is that where we're at? But all right, let's move. Let's go.
So I think he would clear Broly, but if you're a down player, then, you know, I guess this is where he would cap off. I will say, though, a fight between
Okay, so I see on the low end, Galaxy cap off. Okay, but on the low end, though, even with that, you know what I'm saying, I would put them right there. You know what I'm saying? Because he blanking out galaxies. Who gonna blank out who, nigga? You feel me? But all right, let's go.
Saitama and Z Broly would probably be the most entertaining out of... Will say, though, a fight between Saitama and Z Broly would probably be the most entertaining out of any proposed matchup in this video.
Probably.
Even with Universal Plus scaling, Saitama is not surviving Fusion Reborn. I would say even Goku is enough to take care of him based on his feats in the movie, which we'll cover in a little bit. But for this section of the video, I want to talk about Janemba specifically. In the movie, Goku powers up into Super Saiyan 3 to combat Fat Janemba. Just by powering up, he manages to shake all of Otherworld. For those who don't know, Otherworld is absolutely massive. It's so massive that Heaven, which is the same size as the infinite living universe, manages to get lost in the skies of Otherworld. That's how massive this area is.
Lost in the size up. Okay, all right. See, I feel like you got infinity stuff going on here, and it's weird because then it's in a ball, so it's not. You know what I'm saying? But we move.
manages to get lost in the skies of Otherworld. That's how massive this area is. In Daizenshuu, it describes Otherworld as an area that transcends the dimensionality of the living universe, which is backed up by Takao Koyama. This can be interpreted a few different ways. This would make it baseline 4th dimensional, however you could argue 5th dimensional if you wanted to include a temporal dimension, which would be backed up by how Goku and the Super Exciting Guide says that Otherworld is without time. It gets even crazier if you consider the possible definition of outerversal, that being transcending dimensionality. For my money, this could be a potentially multiversal level feat, and you could even argue up to outerversal if you wanted to. I
ain't gonna hold you. Universe, outerverse, innerverse, introvert. I don't. What? Okay. Outerverse. Are we off dimensionals now? Okay, all right, cool.
Potentially multiversal level feat, and you could even argue up to outerversal if you wanted to. I bring this all up because universal level feat, and you transcending dimensionality.
Transcending dimensionality.
For my money, this could be a potentially multiversal level feat.
Multiversal level. I got you. Where it says trans whatever thing,
being transcending
thank you. Transcending dimensionality, like, is that like that's him going from 3rd to 4th dimension, 4th to 5th dimension? Okay.
For my money, this could be a potentially multiversal level feat, and
then multiversal with the power. That's what he's doing with the power to destroy multiple universes. Got you. Okay.
You could even argue up to outerversal if.
Now you lost me. What do you mean up to outerversal? Because I had you at the dimensionals, I had you at the universals and universal pluses. The fuck is an outer dimension? Is that what this world was we talking about? It's the outer dimension? Is that? I don't know, but we move.
You wanted to. I bring this all up because after Fat Janemba transforms into Super Janemba, I'll just be calling him Janemba for the rest of the video, he absolutely dog walks Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Janemba isn't just a really big power level though, he has multiple other abilities that make him absolutely broken. Like, we need to patch this man out of the series. Transfiguration, seemingly infinite stamina, regeneration, he can stretch his arms kind of like Piccolo can, teleportation, and yeah, Saitama has fought people with a bunch of extra abilities before, like Cosmic Fear Garo. The difference here is that there is a massive gap in power, and it's not in Saitama's favor. Janemba is going to bully him, stat check him. Janemba doesn't even play with his food. He is out for blood 100% of the time. Even if you wanted to argue that Saitama would grow during this fight, which is likely, the increase that the manga shows
I don't think Janemba, I don't even know if he had enough time to do it, but
us based on the graphs it provides really isn't anything more than a few times over. And
I don't know, I didn't see the numbers on the other side of the graph. But yeah, because if we're talking about, you know, Super Saiyan being 50 times multipliers by whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? And things like that. And then Janemba scaling obviously higher than that. You know what I'm saying? The rate that Saitama would grow, what basically Saitama, I would say Saitama's not going to grow 50 times his power level as he's fighting, and it's just going to keep, and it's going to go as fast as a Super Saiyan, as a Saiyan can just switch to Super Saiyan and boom, 50 times multiplier. It's going to take Saitama a second to get there versus like not Super Saiyan, not that level, but I'm talking about when he hits his, I want to say cap strength wise, before he needs to start, you know, having those emotions and all this stuff to where his shit grows and shit like that. Starting from just there, trying to catch where Janemba already is, I would say would be a aggressive feat to accomplish.
Manga shows us based on the graphs it provides really isn't anything more than a few times over. And considering Janemba likely isn't going to let him grow, there isn't much opportunity for Saitama to outgrow Janemba's current strength. In my opinion, there is no way for Saitama to currently, based on what we know, get past Janemba. And for anyone who's watching this video and wants to argue that we've never seen Saitama get hurt before, here's a panel of Garo punching him, and on the very next page, he has a nosebleed. He's even seen spitting up a little blood on the previous panel. In conclusion, thank you very much for the support on the original Saitama video. That was absolutely earth-shattering for me. If this video even does half as well as that one, I will be a happy man.
I will be a happy.
Anyway, where's the close?
Alright, yo, that was dope. We want that dope here. Got some informativeness Yeah, man, I'm liking where dude's going, you know what I'm saying? I'm understanding and not understanding some stuff, but trying to put some things together, because like I said before, you know, I would Dragon Ball fanboy. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be like, yeah, Goku be Saitama, you know what I'm saying? It's still nice to know that Goku actually does, but I don't really care that much. I just be like, I like to get into the banter. But like seeing where Saitama, because no matter what, I knew Saitama scaled in Dragon Ball. Like, I knew that Saitama could run up in Dragon Ball Z, and start running through niggas. Like, I knew that he was on there. It ain't like he don't belong in Dragon Ball. I just don't think he beats Goku. That's all I'm saying. Saitama is most definitely in the wrong anime. Don't get me wrong. But I really liking the stats. But with this, but yeah, with the movies and things like that, I would say that dude is pretty accurate. I wasn't even thinking of Janemba when he was originally talking about it, because you gotta think, Janemba dog walk Super Saiyan 3 Goku, was whooping his ass, right? Whereas Super Saiyan Goku thought that he could beat Fat Boo. He said he could beat Fat Boo, but didn't want to, because he wanted to give the boys a shot or whatever. So obviously Janemba scales higher than Fat Boo, because they needed to do their little fusion thing, and you saw how fusion is just different. It just beats people up. So if Saitama doesn't pass Boo in Z, the Boo saga in Z, then he's not gonna pass Janemba. So like, that makes perfect sense to me, man. But that's the take. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, follow me on all that social media, and I'll catch y'all next one. Peace.